raised on, I've been doing floors for about 30 years, and we always were raised on screening floors with a screen. And typically we'd start with either a 80 or 100, 120 or whatever, and we were basically screening the floors with our round oscillating or round disc machines, right? But finishes have changed nowadays, and you don't need to really use screens anymore. The only times I would use a screen is if the floor was peeling. Why you use a screen or the SPP pad is, one is you're cleaning the floor, but more importantly is you're etching the floor. You're giving the finish something to bite to, right? If I just came in and cleaned the floor with a red pad and threw floor finish down, gym floor finish, there's a good chance it's gonna start flaking like saran wrap because it doesn't have a bond. So what we did yesterday was we took this auto scrubber here, which gives us 60 pounds of head pressure, just daily cleaning, then 180 for interim top scrubbing, then 185 if we're gonna strip with it, right? So we set it at the interim of 120 pounds. We took our SPP pad here, put it on the machine, made a pass down and a pass back. Once we came back up, we flipped it over, made a pass down, made a pass back, then we changed the pad, okay? We use a product called IFT. So IFT just stands for intensive floor treatment. That's what it is, and it's specifically for deep cleaning wood floors, right? You mix this at 2 to 4 ounces in your auto scrubber. If you mix more than 4, you're gonna start to get a lot of foam. So you really don't need more than 4 ounces. Typically all I use is 2, right? You can also use this in a spray bottle if you're cleaning your gym floors and you get a lot of black marks. You can put it in the spray bottle to spray your black marks, and that will release your black marks. So when you go over with your scrubber and stuff, it releases itself, right? So put it in the machine, scrubbed it, and we picked it back up. And then in this machine, this is just rinsing. We're still using an SPP pad. We're flipping it when we get half the floor rinse, and we're using squeaky. So this is an intensive floor treatment. This is a deep cleaner. This is what we would use to clean the floor every day. It's got like a 9% alcohol to it, so it's gonna flash fast. But what we're trying to do is make sure we get any residual of the IFT off the floor and that it flashes so that we can coat the floor, okay? So this is at 1 ounce per gallon. This is at 2 to 4 ounces per gallon. The biggest things you can do for gym floors is dust mop as often as you can, because a pound of dirt is gonna do about $600 worth of damage if you don't get it off the floor. So good walk-off mattings, good dust mopping. The thing about dust mops is you wanna make sure that once you're done with that dust mop, you hang it up. Don't keep it on the floor, because if you keep it on the floor, you're just meshing the fibers of it, and then when you go to use it, it's not gonna do what you want it to do. Auto scrubbers are used all the time on wood floors, right? It's just making sure that people understand how they use them and how they use them correctly, right? When we prep this floor, we put solution down, and we worked in smaller sections, so we kind of worked from the blue line to the white line, but remember, we were picking it up as we go, so the water was only there for a little while, just to agitate it, then we were picking it back up again. So we really weren't flooding the floor. Knowing that you don't have a lot of labor, if you have auto scrubbers, whether it be a square or a disc, you can use those when you're doing this process. This process is pretty simple. So typically, like I said, we're not using screens, we're using the SPP pads, and we're doing it wet to keep the dust down. And then you can release the traffic depending on what your coating is. And we have street shoe that we can coat today and you can play tomorrow. It's a 24-hour turn. And we don't, street shoe you can release within 24 hours. Gym shoe, which we're putting down today, you can release within 3 to 4 days. So it's a little bit longer cure time than street shoe. Right? And water bases were developed only because of cure times and being able to release that gym so much faster. The process of doing floors nowadays, you can use auto scrubbers or you can still use the swing machines with the cords. But I find that you're going to be more productive if you can use auto scrubbers on the floor. Less people, a lot faster, and you can coat the floor a lot faster. If you want to use a tape, use the painter's tape, and you only want to keep it there for just a couple days, and you want to remove it, and you want to pull it at 45 degrees, so you have less tension, less pulling it off. You'll see what we've got is we've got a uniform litho floor that's clean, and it's been abraded so that it's going to be able to hold the finish.
So this one's ready for finish?
This one's ready for finish. So Jacob took this machine yesterday and he just plugged it into the wall. He had a maroon pad on it. So here we took the weights off and Jacob just put a maroon pad on there. And he went along all the edges with the maroon pad. You can see the edges. A little bit nice about the corner, the machines that are squares, you get in the corners, you get in the edges, where the round ones you don't so much. So that's how we use this machine. So we make street shoe and we make gym shoe. Good quality product, great shine. It's just different powder makeup. I got to give it 4 days to cure out before I can release it to traffic. So those are our two parts. So we're actually adding a hardener to it. So this is the catalyst that we mix with the product. This just makes it super hard. So you get one of these per 5-gallon pail. If I want to mix up just a gallon or 2 gallons, I can do that. Water-based is you look at your coverage rates. Your coverage rates are going to be anywhere between 600 to 800 square feet per gallon. What will dictate that is basically how dry the floor is. What we're going to do is we're going to use the weighted T-bars with a wooden handle. Whenever you're spreading our water bases, we recommend the heavyweight T-bar with a wooden handle. That's going to give us the coverage rates that we're looking for, 600 to 800 square feet per gallon. After we coat the floor and we're all done, for the first 30 days, the only thing you want to put on the floor is just water. If you're using an auto scrubber, you can use an auto scrubber with white pads. After 30 days, you can go to incorporating a cleaner. We recommend squeaky because it's made specifically for wood floors. So humidity, we canceled it because the humidity was so high. And what happens when you have high humidity, it just comes into the building and you got this carrier, this urethane trying to get out of the building, and you got humidity saying, no, you got no place to go. The product's going to cure from the bottom up, right? And if you don't give it good cure time, if you're forcing air on it, it skins it over and it never gets a total cure. The prime conditions for gym floors is anywhere between 65 and 85 degrees. And you really don't want anything more than like a 50% humidity. That's ideal conditions for laying gym finishes. So we're going to go ahead and mix these up. Now all you want to do is just add the catalyst slowly to it. And applicators, they're going to make them 18 inches, which that one is, and they also make them in 24 inch. Because I'm using a water-based finish, I'm just going to take them over and put water over them. Clean them off just to make sure I don't have any lint in these. And I'm going to show you how to pull finish with the T-bar. And there's an art to it, but really it's pretty simple. You'll see as we go. Basically what we want to do is we want to make sure that we finish with the grain of the wood. Okay, so we're always going to finish with the grain of the wood. With the T-bar, we don't want to add any more pressure to it. We just want to glide it across the floor like this. So basically what you want to concentrate on is once you move away from the wall, is to get a slight angle, right? The more angle I grab, the less boards I cover, right? So you just want a slight angle. Just as I pull it, it's angling that product to come down towards my feet, right? And keep a pull here like that, right? So as I'm pulling down the floor, I'm just concentrating on where my T-bar is, but more importantly is where's that puddle in relation to my T-bar, right? Because what I don't want it to do is I don't want that puddle to overrun my T-bar because that's going to throw me a high spot. The more you can stay consistently down the floor, pulling your bead, the straighter your lines are going to be. If you're going in and out, your line's going to be crooked. Say that blue line is my next wall. So I'm pulling my bead down, and then when I come in, I'm just basically going to plant myself, pull, down, up, back in, I'll come back up, I'll squeeze my T-bar so it won't take excess, come back, we'll feather this end because I made that turn in. I want to always finish with the grain of the wood, so you kind of like an airplane taking off. You're just going to feather that out. You don't want to whip it because you might throw finish out that way, but just feather it out. Then I come back down, set down, and where that bead is, I start all over again down the floor. Just keeping that same angle. Just pulling it down the floor. The faster you go, the thinner it's going to run. So you kind of just have a nice little pace to it. Get down to your wall, stop, squeeze. And you always want to squeeze. Some people come out here and start squeezing here, and then you're going to start stepping in it, right? So when you squeeze, you just want to go parallel to your puddle, just a light squeeze. That's all you want to do. The other thing you gotta think about is I gotta have a clear exit out, right? So I gotta exit there, I gotta exit there, I gotta exit there, I gotta exit there. My plan is I'm gonna exit that way down there. Here I have the bleacher, but it's more of a straight shot. It's a straight shot down around the bleacher, straight shot out. Here, if I'm gonna try to, when you get to the end, you can't have a lot of finish on the floor. You gotta think about being able to walk out of here, because when you're coming down the floor, you're gonna either be pulling it like this, or you're gonna be pulling it like this. We'll see how much, depends on how much product we have on the floor.